Couple of days ago, I was laying next to my husband in bed and just like had my head nestled to his chest. And in that moment, I remember having this flashback to like my 16-year-old self. And at that time, I was struggling because all my friends were dating and a guy had just broken up with me because, and this is a true story, because I wouldn't have sex with him. I had made a vow, and it really, like, I call it a vow, but I wanted to do things biblically, and wait to have sex until marriage. And so because that was such a high standard, I just knew that it was going to be a very long time before I found anybody that was willing to walk that out with me. And so here I am at 16 thinking, I'm probably never gonna have anybody. Everybody's gonna continue to date, and I'm gonna have to continue to check off guys off the list because they don't, because they all wanna do stuff that I don't wanna do with them. And so, at 16, I just remember thinking, what if I'm not worthy of having this? And it's interesting how the enemy plants lies in our minds, because I began to think that there wasn't going to be somebody good enough. Like maybe I was just asking for too much. And the crazy thing is that some people would say in this culture that I was asking too much, but I just want to tell you that at 26, I kept that vow. And at 26, I got married and have only been intimate with one person. And I'm thankful for that. I don't regret it, even though it was hard at that time. But I'm sharing this to say that this is my point, that God provides. And so I'm sitting here at 31, because this happened a couple of days ago, right? So I'm sitting, laying next to my husband at 31, thinking about that 16-year-old who thought that God wasn't going to come through. And so I don't know what you're waiting on, but I want to let you know that God comes through. So maybe it's a dream. Maybe you are waiting for a spouse. Maybe, there is something that you're waiting on God for, but for whatever reason, the enemy has convinced you that you won't get it, or maybe that you're not worthy to get it. Maybe there are some of you there that are waiting on the Lord for something. And maybe because you've sinned and you've, done some things wrong, and maybe, you've backslidden, and you think that disqualifies you from receiving God's blessing. I just want to tell you that God is a God that restores. God is in the business of making things new, and God is in the business of he's just in the business of restoring. Like, that's the word that keeps coming to mind. So you're not broken goods. You're not disqualified from God's blessing, no matter how far you've gone, no matter what you've done. The Lord is good. The Lord pursues after us with this never-ending love. And whatever it is that you're waiting on the Lord for, I just want to encourage you that He does come through, that He does come through, and He gives us the desires of our heart. And it may not come in our timing, but it surely will come, because He's a good Father. So, that's